Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Welcome to the Armory. Welcome to all 5-tier podcast, and welcome to X. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day. I'm sure people are. Let's get in the comments. This is going to be a Q&A, as you could probably imagine. There's not enough to talk about, to do slides and all that kind of stuff. It's just not enough to talk about. So it's your questions, my answers, the best I can. Big up to Tamina saying Gyökeres is an Arsenal player. Yep, has been for a while, if I'm honest. Can you tell all of Arsenal fans to calm down about Gyökeres? Arsenal player, please. I've done my best, and people just constantly listen to the pantomime. It is what it is, unfortunately. We'll talk about the left winger in a bit, because I'm sure people have asked questions, so I'm sure we'll touch on that. What DM, like I said, it's a younger profile to the Zubimendi Norgard. We need to be patient. We need to be patient for this. Now, the window's still open for 6 weeks. We will be active in the window up until like the last week. And when I say the last week, it's because the last week is because that is when you're going to get everything in line. Because even if we do have a deadline day transfer, all the hard work would have already gone into it. So, yeah, up until the last week, just be patient, people. Gyökeres, yeah, 100%. I expect to see him play. I'm going to take a guess. I think Newcastle game might be a bit too quick. So I'm going to go with Tottenham game, personally, which would be lovely. How many players Arsenal getting this season before the window shuts? How many more? Definitely 2, up to 4 is my expectation at the moment. But yeah, for me, we'll definitely get 2 more. I can't see there being a scenario where we don't get 2 more in. But I'm going to push the boat out and say possibly 4. It wouldn't totally shock me. Like, I would be prepared for 5. But I'm going to go minimum 2. I personally think max 4, but don't be too surprised if there's a 5th coming in as well. Big up to Mohammed saying, evening, where's Gyökeres? You'll see him in an Arsenal shirt soon enough, mate, I promise. Big up to Rancy saying good afternoon. Big up to the game and saying big up to Bobby. Big up to everyone here. Situation with Rodrigo and outgoings. Outgoings, I'll be honest, not the greatest. Look, I have no major issue with the outgoings not going great at the moment. They will go well eventually, but we are sticking firm with the price. Now, I don't think we're asking a lot of money for the players that we want to get rid of. So if they want this specific player, then pay what we're asking. We're not asking for an absolute fortune. We're going to take a hit on Fabio Vieira. We'll take a hit on Zinni. Nelson, could be a problem most likely alone. Unfortunately, it's just last season with Nelson hasn't helped us try to sell him, because obviously there's an injury problem. So, and then there's Hine. Hine's contract might be terminated, or we might be lucky to get a little bit of money for him, but I expect the contract probably to be cancelled, or we send him out on loan, or some kind of weird stuff with Hine. Trying to think of other people. Lokonga will leave, probably alone. You're going to just have to be prepared that, when you're trying to sell players that everybody on the planet knows you don't want to, well, you want to get rid of, you're not going to get the money you asked for. So when it comes to, like, let's say Martinelli, Kivior, like players that we would be open to selling, that is a slightly different situation where, look, you want this player, you're paying that much money. And the teams are going to know that. They know they're going to have to put a big offer in for us to let them go. So, yeah, it's a long, long time. Rodrigo, nothing until August, in my opinion. Nothing will develop. What has developed is Liverpool are moving for Fofana. from Lyon. I think that's right. So yeah, there's much more to happen yet. Berta was controlling the striker, but clubs have announced their strikers before Berta. I'm not too concerned by this situation. Something else had to happen for Gyökeres to be announced publicly, and that's been going on behind the scenes, and Lisbon are close to dealing with the other situation that they needed to do. So yeah, now we can officially announce it in the media. Big up to Miles, still repping in Bobby Trust. Thank you very much. What's with the news with Eze and the left wing? Just be patient. In my opinion, Eze will be the next one. If it's not Eze, a Cam will come in. But my opinion is it will be Eze. I don't expect it not to be Eze, if I'm honest. Then left winger will be pushed into August. You just got to be patient. Look, I know it's been really long, 6 weeks so far, but Gyökeres will be our 6th signing. Is that right? Sorry, I've got the women in my head, so I'm trying not to count too many. So Gyökeres will be our 6th signing. Then Eze will be our 7th. Then we're going to go for 8, and then we'll see what we can do. Let's just be patient. Gyökeres, yeah, indeed. Big up to Menali as well. Big up to Chewbacca. Yes, he is indeed. Big up to Dylan say #puppy nose. Give me a striker from Sweden. It's done, Angie. We're happy now, aren't we? Could Eze join us? No. I don't think that's possible. There's still a lot of work to do. For people that are unaware, Crystal Palace are also going through some issues themselves. They've gone to the appeal process, and I'll be honest, I don't think they need this kind of transfer talk at the moment whilst they're dealing with that situation. So I do expect if Eze was to be an Arsenal player, which I'm pretty sure he will be, it will be the Emirates Cup. That's what I expect. Could we get Eze and left wing before Tressett? No. One of those would have to leave to get both of those. Aldo Rodrigo, Leao. Yes. Yes, they are. So I'm just getting comfy. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. There we go. More comfy now. Pick up to John saying, Bopper. Good evening, Rancy again. What is Arsenal to? Like I said, there's so much behind the scenes that people just don't, just not aware of, and that's fine. That's not that it's not your job to work out what this stuff is behind the scenes, but there is so much more that goes on behind the scenes, and some things just take a little bit longer. Personally, I was very relaxed about it all, so I'm just glad it's done now. Big up to Den saying, evening Bobby, evening Gooners. Can we still get a left winger, or is this? No, this is not the end. Nowhere near the end. Like I said, we're going to be active until late August, so be prepared to probably lose your minds a little bit more. If you lost your minds over Gyökeres, trust me, you'll lose your minds a little bit more before the end of the window. Evening to Tem, link to Gyökeres and Sesko end up with Gyökeres. Now he's happy. Dean saying, good evening, Bobby. Good evening, chat. Good evening to Sporting's president. Arsenal expected attacking signings 0.84. Well, it's better than it has been. Get me Rodrigo and Eze and Arsenal equals 1. Wow. You're not even going to go for a 2 there, Tim. Big up to Cole saying Bobby without Eze 9 with Eze. Well, not for me. Not for me. It's fair enough for your scores though, mate, but it won't be for me. Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm going to be quite harsh. Big up to Commander. Hi, Bobby. Hope all is well. Is there any news on Eze and Rodrigo? Rodrigo's still currently on holiday. Eze, like I said, I think this stuff, there has been some developments this week, and it has come out in the media as I expected. But I think the Crystal Palace legal issue now will put everything else on the back burner just for that little bit longer, which is why I don't think if Eze was to come in, I don't think he'll come in for he won't come in until the Emirates Cup, in my opinion. Like, I think I've already answered it in all fairness, but no, it's the final 2 weeks of July was my expectation. So we're only halfway through. I still think we'll get at least 1 or 2 out by this time. Gyökeres done, window done. Definitely not done yet. And far from it. We've got so much more to do. Big up to Poppy. Where's my left winger at? You'll have to wait for August. Would there be new addition? Yes, at least 2, in my opinion. Big up to Gary. Big up to Starkey. The consistent links between Liverpool and Rodrigo. Are you aware of any talks between Arsenal and Madrid, or is it still just Rodrigo? No, there has been communication between Arsenal and Madrid as well. So yeah, has not formally been announced as yet. So no, I'm not concerned, Anthony. Absolutely zero concern. Big up to Oliver. Keep up. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, mate. Chewbacca, Lauren James update. I don't expect an update for another week personally. So yeah. Big up to Anthony saying the Emirates Cup. Apparently, we'll Bon Marty for. We do want at least one midfielder. So there's been quite a few that we've spoken to. Bon Marty, I think, is in the list, but there is a few others as well. Chewbacca. Did you like my Beethoven reference in the chat earlier? Unfortunately, don't. I'm going to say Dan, because I know I get in trouble when I call you Daniel. Dan, I haven't seen it very well, I'll be honest. As you know, there's so many chats in there, I can't read them all. I wish I could. But I do try my best on these live shows. Now we've signed Gyökeres, never wanted Sesko anyway. No, in all fairness, I like Sesko, so I hope he does well wherever he goes, personally, just not against us. I don't mind who we sell as long as... Oh, no. He has to go. Hussam is so confident Rodrigo's going to Liverpool. Can't wait to wipe that arrogant smile off his face. Well, wasn't Hussam very confident that Zubimendi would go to Liverpool? Look, is Liverpool an option for Rodrigo? Yeah, of course he is. Rodrigo wants to come to us as the main destination. But if we decide that we want to go elsewhere, which we may do in the end, then Rodrigo may go to Liverpool. I don't personally see it currently because they're going for Fofana. So yeah, let's wait and see. I hope so. He needs to, if I'm being honest. Big up, Bobby. You are coming up trumps. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you can talk about it, what was the hold up with Gyökeres? It was more to do with what Lisbon were trying to bring in, really. Look, at the end of the day, football clubs have a respect for one another. Now, the negotiation could have been tough. They were a little bit tough. They weren't anything like what they've been talking about in the media. But there is a mutual respect. So what teams tend to do when you're trying to sign one of their best players, which, we were signing their main striker, Lisbon want to be in a position where they're like over 90% sure that they got the replacement in before they let that player go. So that's it. That's all it was. Mo Sidani, Hato and Simmons more likely to Chelsea now. Hato, not 100% sure. Simmons, it wouldn't shock me if he goes to Munich, personally. So we'll wait and see. Hussam and footy judge Mo. Okay, can't wait to work that. Oh dear. Sales needed before Eze comes on. Is that because the money we have left is being saved for Rodrigo? No, it's not really to do with money. It's squad numbers, really. We've got quite a bloated squad now. We've brought in, in my head, we've brought in 6 players. We need to get rid of some. We have got quite a lot of players. Don't forget, a lot of players came back from loan in the summer as well. So we do need to get rid of some of those. The way that we have been saving money on certain positions, like the goalkeeper, centre back. Trust me, Mosquera wasn't the first choice. Kepa, Norgard saved a lot of money there. Gyökeres saved a lot of money there. Who else? Zubimendi, we've structured that in a different way so it saves us more money. We're doing it for a specific reason. We can easily spend over £100 million more still after Gyökeres. So yeah, I'm really not concerned. Trossard's a tricky one. I do expect him to leave. I just don't know where. There's a lot of clubs that are interested in Trossard. Because what I do want to talk about, because I did put it in the thumbnail, and I'm going to see if I can show you, because it's quite interesting actually, and not a lot of people have picked it up. Now, hopefully this works. And let's just have a look. Just bear with me. I just want to show you something. I want to show you something so you can all see something. Obviously, I know about this. So I just want to show you. Hopefully this works. Dun, 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 dun. Give me 2 seconds. Right. Now, hopefully this works. So just bear with me. Just going to show you that. Now, hopefully that comes up on your screen. Right. So this is Arsenal.com. The players for Arsenal. What do you notice there about the picture? That is Gabriel Jesus in last season's shirt. Right. So now, get off your stupid advert. Now we're going to go to, let's go with Kai. Now, Kai is in the new shirt. Now, you're telling me that we haven't done a picture for Jesus. When Jesus is just injured. You know, he's still going to be around the squad. But it's fascinating. Also, a hint that I've been telling people all summer that Jesus could possibly leave, which will definitely open a door for a possible other striker coming in. Do you still think Rodrigo is coming? It's definitely doable. The problem that we have with Rodrigo is he's on holiday, and look, they all deserve holidays. Don't get me wrong, but until he gets back, speaks to Real Madrid for the final time, and the plan is set for if he's staying or if he's going. Vinicius Junior is obviously an obstacle as well, because he may leave, but I'm pretty sure he'll sign a new contract with Real Madrid. It's unknown, but it doesn't mean that we've put all our eggs in the basket for Rodrigo, because we haven't. There are other people that we've spoken to, so I'm not too concerned. Fofana, because Rodrigo turned them down. Well, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting that they're very confident they get Fofana. So yeah, big up to Tess who's saying, thank you very much. How am I? I'm all right. I'm not too bad. Are you ready to do a show on the striker situation? That will be done in September. I can promise you that. If it's not Eze for the cam, who's second? Because Simmons looks Chelsea bound. There's a certain man who plays in the West Midlands. There you go. Update on Saliba. Both signed contracts. You'll find out. The thing is, with all football clubs, not just Arsenal, they all like to make sure that there are news spread out. They're not going to release news all in one day. They're just not going to do that. No football clubs do that, because there's so much regarding sponsors, finance, money involved in announcements. People don't think there's money involved. There's a lot of money involved in just the announcements itself. So they will be spread out. And I do expect Saliba and Saka will be the last two announcements. It wouldn't shock me if they waited till September. It's just the way it is. But they have agreed. deals, so I'm not concerned. Yes, he is. Are Liverpool signing for Fofana going to affect their pursuit of Rodrigo? In my opinion, it will do. Evening all, evening Bobby, no questions for me, just a thank you. Thank you very much, JB1K. Do we need to sell? No, we don't. No, we don't. What we do need is there to be more confidence that someone's going to eventually leave. And I know it sounds a bit of a weird way of answering that question, but currently we've got a lot of players in amber, so you all know what that means. But it's very hard to actually think that they're going to go because prices are slightly different from what we're asking for, what they're offering. So we will still move for Eze no matter what. Even if we sold nobody else, we'd still go for Eze. And like I said, with the Crystal Palace situation, but we also need to think that someone's going to go. We don't need to sell someone. There has to be some kind of movement. And currently there's not a lot of movement, unfortunately. There will be, but just not right now. Do you still think? Yes, I still think we will. Yes, totally. Bobby Biggins. I'm Starkers. Oh, jeez. Mate, good luck. You know why. Will you be turning in at 8 to watch the Chloe Kelly show? I hope so. Guys, don't be freeloaders. Thank you very much, Jobel1. I do appreciate it. Wait, don't you race? See, I don't mind him as a midfielder, but we're not going to play him as a midfielder. We all know this, so he just needs to go. Correction, big puns. Is that saying green? He is, yes. Gordon is still an option for the left wing before anyone gets mixed up with that's about the cam. Gordon's still an option. Leao's still an option. Lookman's still an option. Lookman does more look like he's going to go to Inter Milan, but he's still an option. If not Rodrigo, who is out of other choice. If the head loss chat, no worries. I bet he's composing his show tomorrow like Beethoven used to compose his view. It's very good, Dan, I have to be honest. The same was also certain that Sesko was going to Arsenal that he was a bum. Wonder how he rates Gyökeres now. Yes, you'll see his announcement. I don't think it will be tonight, probably tomorrow. Yeah, I think it's a bit too quick to do it today. I think it'll be tomorrow. Who is the surprise? I'm not going to say. You know I'm not. Big up to Tolo Wanami. Hey, Bobby, are we still right on budget? Yeah. Financially, I'm not concerned at all about Arsenal whatsoever. Sorry, I missed in the beginning. What is the percent on Eze from that? Jesus equals sold. With Eze, I am percentage. The reason I'm just divvying, I'm actually calculating in my head what I think the percentage is. Chance of him coming. It's definitely over 90. I'm going to go with 95%. Convinced that Eze will come. Regarding Jesus, now hopefully you all got to saw what I just showed you. So that was Arsenal.com. That wasn't me just showing you pictures of Jesus and Havertz. That is Arsenal's website. Now, explain to me why Jesus is not in new kit if he's not going to be sold or we're not open to sell him, because that just wouldn't happen. If you look at Nelson Zinchenko, Lokonga, Cole Hein, they're all in old photos. None of them have had new photos taken. And that can only mean one thing. They will be the next two positions, in my opinion. Is Akapic? Yes, 100%. Is regarding us? Yes. Could he possibly move? Yes. But not to us. Who was the first choice centre-back target, Bobby? Cheers. Weirdly, he was at Sporting Lisbon. Who's the other striker? In my opinion, there's a possibility it could be Viper, which is the young lad from Germany. Now, I'm slightly concerned Tottenham might sneak up and get him, but he's so talented. He's so cheap as well. I think it's about going to be under 20 million quid, which is nothing really. And there is a lot of talent about him. He looks like, under the right guidance, could be really, really tricky in a few years' time. And I promise you, it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm part German. I hate that you're side. Sorry, mate. Mate, you'll still have a good summer. Be patient. What is his number? I need to order my shirt. In my opinion, Cole, this is just my opinion, by the way, so don't quote me on it, but I do think he'll get the 14 because I think Eze will get the 10. That's my opinion. Yes. Is it still true we'll sign Eze and left wing and when it is Trossard leaving? Hopefully Trossard leaves in the next week or two. That's what I'm hoping. But it's not as simple as that, unfortunately. Big up to the Lake District Cyclist. That is an interesting name. I'm guessing you might have a channel. If you do, please subscribe to it because I love that name. I love the Lake District. Anyway, this guy said a striker was done, as in done. He went on for weeks saying he would let you know. That he then said to us, okay, appreciate it. Vinny boys, hello there. Will Victor fly to Singapore? Yes, I think he'll be there in time for the final game, personally. We've currently got one. We've got 3 in green at the moment, but I'm not too worried about yeah, I'm not too worried about if we don't get all those greens in. So yeah. Will Saka and Saliba be the 2 highest earners once they sign up? Saka will be the highest earner. Saliba will be very close. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I know Saka is somewhere smiling right now. What player would you say is the closest to leave? Probably Hein, actually, weirdly. Why hasn't any videos on news been uploaded on the official site regarding Victor Gyökeres? You won't see that until Mosquera's done, and then there'll be a gap between probably 2 or 3 days. Once Mosquera's done, then you'll see others. That's what I think you'll see. Big respect, but can you emphasize for the kids at the back of our class that our pursuit of Eze is not connected to our sales? Many thanks for this. No, definitely not connected to our sales. We could always get 7 players in. We could always get that. But we also need to know that someone's going to be leaving. And that is the bit that has been slightly disappointing so far, is the players that we're trying to get sold. There's been some interest, don't get me wrong, and there's a lot of players of ours that are in amber, but yeah, it's not gone brilliantly, if I'm honest. But 7 players were already the target, so you know we can only get the target was only 7 because we knew we didn't have to sell anyone. But we did expect someone to at least leave, and nothing really has happened yet. The obvious weakness dealt with, liking this window of victory. Well done, Tim. I love that. Big up to my PB. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Any news on Xavi Simons to Arsenal? Unlikely, in my opinion. Thoughts on KSE other than FA Cup, no trophies. With last 7 years being under Fortnite, my honest worry is that I don't see us dominating again, just the odd trophy here and there. It's not what KSE want. They want to continuously compete for years and years by building a kind of a structure, which we're doing right now, where look, don't get me wrong, it's going to be very hard for us to win trophies next season, but we've definitely put ourselves in a better position. But yeah, we want to continuously challenge for trophies, not just do once now and then. Bless you, mate. Join late, hope Rodrigo, if not Leao, possible or good. Yeah, Pretty much all those three and a few others. Can Saudi come? Oh, sorry. I wish that would be the case personally. I missed the name of the young German. Viper. I'm going to type it in the comments for you. There you go. I've put it in the comments for you. Viper. It's about, I think it's not going to be cost more than like 20 million. So it's really cheap. Big up to Jonathan saying, good evening, Bobby. Hope you were well. Sort of room about Nelson Viper. Oh, there you go. Literally. Yes, that's the young lad that we are very confident about looking at. Victor will be number 14 in Colm's opinion. I'm all right. Honestly, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. What's your personal opinion of Rodrigo coming in? Do I think it will happen? You know what? I was really more confident at the beginning of the window than I am now, but that's nothing to do with the left winger. It's just whether or not it'll be Rodrigo. Now, the only thing that you know when you get that little bit of doubt in your head about how much someone really wants to come to you, that's where I'm at with Rodrigo at the moment. I'm just questioning how much he does want to come to Arsenal. Now, with every player we've signed so far, they've all desperately wanted to come to Arsenal, which is fantastic. I'm not feeling that from Rodrigo, and that's the bit that concerns me. So until he gets back from holiday, no one really knows. So yeah, well, Havertz when we move. See, I think for me, this is my opinion on Havertz. I honestly have no idea what the plan is. But Havertz will definitely more versatile next season. I personally think, it's just personal opinion, I think Havertz might leave next summer. That's just my personal opinion. Okay. Not anything that I think will definitely happen from any knowledge I have. I personally think he will move next summer. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna, mate. To be honest, it's nice having those type of people, isn't it? Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, seriously? Because I live near Birmingham, that's going to be. Oh, he has. Jeez. Yes, rest in peace, Ozzy. Jeez. Okay. So 7 is guaranteed. Hopefully 8 to 9. Yes. Just be patient. Again, I think there's going to be more happening in August now. After Gyökeres, possibly Eze may happen by the end of the month, but I think the Crystal Palace situation needs to be dealt with. And by the way, by what that I mean, I do mean about them fighting UEFA. That's the situation. There's no other problems there. So, yeah, I think Gyökeres Eze, and then see what we can do in August. Personally, big up Bobby on how he handles people who criticise, troll him. Yeah, it's part of the experience, I suppose. Can we loan? I wouldn't mind, to be honest. Big up to AFC always. Hope you're doing well. I would like the fact you put Gyökeres as your. Have you put him in the Arsenal shirt as well? You have as well. Heard Victor is having a medical in Singapore. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything. I'll get into trouble. Xhaka to Sunderland. Yeah, it'd be nice to see him back in the Premier League. It'd be nice to see him actually back at the Emirates. I'm sure we'll give him a lovely welcome. I'm only saying that because I saw a blurry photo of what looks like him from the photo shoot. Oh no, that wasn't even Gyökeres, mate. That wasn't even Gyökeres. Percentage of Rodrigo, Gordon, and Leo. Oh, hang on. Oh, jeez. That's a tricky one. Vixro, give me till Friday. I'll work it out because I like to be a little bit more confident with those answers. Do you see a surprise transfer this window for the first team in terms of in or out? Out, possible. In, possible. I'll be honest, it's possible for both. Andrea is a crafted bugger. So yeah. Thank you very much, Tony Hughes. Appreciate that. This Rodrigo situation is funny because on the outside it looks like a no-brainer for Rodrigo to choose Arsenal. Yeah, it does, but they're just. I don't know. I don't know how it feels for you guys, but it's. He's been showing a lot of Real Madrid love, hasn't he? Whilst he's been on holiday and all the whole situation with him and the CWC, he's still giving a lot of love to Real Madrid, and yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. It's crazy, to be honest. Percentage regardless of target. Now this one is definitely around 97, 98% for the left winger. I just don't know who. Rodrigo's definitely pole. Then it's going to be interesting. If it's not Rodrigo, then it's going to be interesting. No, my pleasure. I think Havertz will leave next year too, and I think Rodrigo wants to stay more. I got a feeling that's the case for me as well, personally. Look, it all depends on what happens with the conversation. Real Madrid. I think it's already had one, which I think he was given the reassurance that he would play. Then the CWC happened and he didn't play. So whether or not that might have changed the situation, I don't know. It's an interesting one because there's, it just feels different with Rodrigo, personally. Same question I asked on Gyökeres, I'm going to ask on Sesko. Where do you think Sesko ends up, Bobby? I personally think he still goes to the Premier League. I still think he does. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. Now, Cole might not be listening, but there's a slight chance he goes to United. Anyway, Trossard to leave. Oh, it's got to be on 70% at the moment. He's listening, damn it. Just seen his comment. Big up to G saying hit the like and subscribe. Thank you very much, G. Appreciate that. For Rodrigo, is it to stay or go to hopefully Arsenal? I don't see any other option personally. I would be shocked. I'll be honest. Hand on heart, I would be shocked if he goes to Liverpool. I think there's only two options, and it's either stay at Real Madrid and fight for his place, or it comes to Arsenal. I don't see Liverpool being an option. I honestly don't. I know Liverpool have spoken to him. They've spoken to Real Madrid. They've spoken to him personally. You know, I just don't see it. But we'll wait and see. This will go into August. This will not be decided by the end of July, personally. So big up to the 1,600 people currently watching. Do appreciate it. But we should not just focus on Doncaster Rovers. No, I think once your window is done, it will be a very good window. So yeah, just be patient, mate. It's going to take a while. Ranieri likes to run with the ball, beating the opposition left and right. He has more freedom to do that on the wings rather than in the middle. Will he continue to perform after changing positions? Right. So I see where you're coming from, but with the way that Arsenal will set up next season, Ranieri, when he does get his chance, and he will get his chance. Bear that in mind. Even with the arrival of a Cam, Ranieri will get his chance. He will have more freedom and will be more dangerous with the way that we're going to put him in that team as a Cam. You'll understand it. I don't know if you'll see it too much over the pre-season, but you will understand it throughout the season, the way that we are setting up and the way that we're trying to structure the team. So yeah, hopefully Sesko's do not want to join United. I'll be honest. I love Sesko. Everyone knows I love Sesko. Yeah, it'll be a hard one to watch. I'll be honest. Especially as we have United the first game of the season. Sesko against Gyökeres. Interesting. Does not. Yeah, but that the payment structure that they offered us did not suit us at all. And we tried to negotiate. And in all fairness, they weren't going to budge. We weren't going to budge. And we tried this for absolutely ages just to try and get the right structure for the price that we agreed. But at the end of the day, no one budged. We didn't budge. They didn't budge. It took a long time for that. But other teams are more than willing to pay that kind of upfront fee. We're not, because we've got so much to do and other business that we need to do. And we all need to make sure that PSR, we're so safe within PSR, we never need to worry about it. So you have to get the structures right for every single transfer. So it is what it is. But yeah. Okay, so talk about the next show. That will be Friday, 6:45. I believe I will be joined by the one and only G Talks. Which would be lovely to have him back, because obviously he's a teacher and he works extremely hard, bless him. So he should be joining me on Friday, 6:45, and have a very good week. Could it be that Gyökeres was a main striker target? No. No. I can promise you Sesko was our number one target until... well, there's two things that happened, really. Berta came in. He said, consider Gyökeres if, Sesko does fall through. Fair enough, we will. Obviously, we were kind of very confident that Sesko would definitely come in, but unfortunately, the structure for Sesko just wasn't suitable for us. RB are very tough negotiators, in all fairness. And in all fairness, so is Andrea. And then, obviously... Gyökeres had a situation going on, and then that kind of developed. And then obviously it became a situation where we went, you know what? We can get him for the kind of way that we want to pay for him, and it's all perfect. So, yeah, it worked out in the end. But that is football world. That is football transfers. It's not a guaranteed... that, Mbeumo, I don't know if Colm's still listening. I told Colm about Mbeumo weeks ago, and it's only just been signed, because that's how long it takes. Sometimes there's so much behind the scenes stuff that goes on. It takes forever. But Mbeumo ended up at United, as I stated it would. So it's mad. So there you go. G Talk says he'll be there. Jackson to United. Oh, I'll be surprised. RB tough negotiation. He's not coming to United then. It's different when you've got a relationship with it. No, obviously when we agreed this deal, we had a good relationship because we had Edu. Obviously Edu left Andrea, so that means kind of you restart the relationship. And Andrea is a very different type of character to Edu. I've got no issues with that. So, yeah, I think as far as I'm aware, United have a fairly decent relationship with Red Bull. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure they do. I can't remember who it is. I think there's some link high up between the two clubs. So, who knows what might happen there. On Miles, I know the plan is midfield, but without a left back, does he play there, or is it Calafiori or Kivior? Well, without Hato, I'll be honest. I'll just be very honest about the situation. Without Hato, it will be Miles. Miles will play, in my opinion, sometime in the DM, but it won't be as much as what we wanted. Look, I'm very honest about ratings of windows. Currently, I'm not seeing a 10. I can see me being happy with a 9, but not a 10 window yet. I'm very picky. Do you think that we can get Sesko next season if he doesn't move? That's a possibility. Very low possibility, but it is a possibility. In my opinion, Isaac 100% moves next season. 100%. Unless Newcastle amazingly win the title, which I don't see happening, by the way, just so everyone's fully aware of this. But unless Newcastle win the title, Isak will leave next season. I can guarantee it. But anyway, guys, I need to go. So I will speak to you all later. I shall see you Friday. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. Take it easy. Bye-bye.